Live from Music City, Nashville, Tennessee. This is your motivational, sensational, inspirational, educational, keenly awaited, highly anticipated edition of the afternoon swing trading floor with your humble host, Jeremy Alexander Newsom, with another daily dose of mentally delicious brain food, reminding each of you to love life, live life, and trade. My boy Rob Wills in the building. What's up, sir? Always love your YouTube comments. Keep them coming. I appreciate it immensely. It's Monday. Today's Merchant Monday. All kinds of things to look at, talk about, chat about, connect with, enrich on. Lovely. My boy Tony says good afternoon. Sharon's in the building. Donna's in the building. December's here. Dawn's here. Ready to learn? Yes. All right. Well, SPY, not a whole lot to talk about today. A little bit of a higher high and a higher low. And I guess at this stage, I'm just going to draw one more line so that everyone knows kind of where that pre-market, or sorry, that post all-time high on the SPY will be right about here. And I think there will be a time in the near future where we make a new all-time high on the SPY. I do like today's follow-through. Volume was kind of negligible, but if we do, slowly keep creeping higher. I don't think we make a new all-time high tomorrow. Had some trader ask me that today. But I think at some point before the end of August, or definitely before the end of September, I think it could happen. Again, if we do get a big drop, whatever that drop looks like, I think it's a viable opportunity. I'm still anticipating a break and making a new all-time high. All of the newbies hopping on, and then we get a pretty decent pullback. So if and when we do this, I think very similar to how this happened over here, we'll get that quick drop and then again another buying opportunity. We'll just kind of keep going higher. So as we make those new all-time highs, be looking at and keeping your eyes for, just keep your eyes out for that either profit selling opportunity or the dip buying opportunity, whichever one you are more favorably leaning towards. Cool. That's pretty much it on the SPY. Gonna move this over here and move this over here. All right, wonderful. Now, the next on the list is the IWM, which is the Russell 2000 ETF. What is super cool about this one is we got 1 penny away from a perfect Doge. So 1 penny away from a perfect doji, which seems to me like this is going to be the breakout on this triangle pattern. I would say if you're playing the IWM, if we break above here, I would stay bullish. Bullish to neutral. Put sales, bull put spreads. If you have shares, great. We've only been chopping around since mid-June on the IWM, so easy a possibility that those go higher. The Qs were pretty much a non-event today, even though there was a lot happening in the tech world. Just tons and tons of stuff. There really wasn't that much going on with the Qs, so kind of a non-event there. And then here's your Dow Jones, the DIA, making a new high today. Also, again, off of this really nice gap that happened right here. Solid gap on the Dow, a little bit farther away than a new all-time high from SPY, but that weekly candle says to me that we'll likely continue higher. And this is actually also a candlestick pattern known as a rest after battle. So you got 2 black candles in the middle of 2 white candles, just like you had a bearish rest after battle over here, even though that was a very short-lived one. That's pretty much what we got, and that is the pattern. So it looks like we'll just slowly keep, hopefully, grinding higher. That's my thoughts on the broader market. If you want to look at some retail ETF, here is the XRT, and that is just RT, which used to be Ruby Tuesdays. Let me pull up XRT. Again, this is the actual retail ETF, and you'll see it looks pretty good. Pretty good, believe it or not. So again, this is the weekly all-time highs on this bad boy, which is surprising, but it's happening. So if and when you get some pullbacks on some retail, which we are looking at today, I think those will also be decently viable. Yep, that's it. All right, cool. On to the next one. First on the list is Best Buy. Take some more BBY. Nice. Melanie says, happy first day back at school, plus 2R. Boom. So this is Best Buy, and the reason we're looking at Best Buy today is earnings are around the corner. So earnings are up, and we made a new all-time high today on Best Buy. So I guess the really fun question is going to be, if this thing gaps on earnings, will it continue higher? And I think so. I like this close. Again, we closed above the wicks, closed above the all-time high, a little bit of a retest gap today. The trend looks good. I don't have any personal positions in Best Buy. But again, if we come back to the weekly chart, we have a little bit of a bearish candle. Are these candles the exact same high? Almost. 2 pennies away from the high of kind of like a tweezer top on Best Buy. So yeah, I'd have to say, if you're looking at one to start putting on your watch list for even maybe just an hourly play. I don't trade Best Buy all that often, but the hourly chart does have some moving potentials. You can see some really big upper shadows here on the extended hours chart. Boom and boom. So we probably will pull back. See here, 78, but that could be a decent buying spot on Best Buy. Next on the list, Under Armour is having what will go down in history as the Battle of the 100s. It's really fascinating to see. So you're kind of bouncing off of or interacting with the 100 simple moving on the daily chart. And then if you come over here to the weekly chart, you're interacting with the 100 on a weekly chart. And then if you go over here to Under Armour, you also have a 100 on a monthly chart. This is also a resistance. So really interesting that that actually is happening. And what's cool about Under Armour is, again, you've had that ginormous sell-off in late, mid 2015 to early 2018. Here's the daily, and the daily chart. You have yourself a nice new white soldier, one white soldier candle. I really do like the close of Friday's candle. Close was, let's see, what was the Friday's candle? The close was 2049, and the low is 2050. So I'm sure some traders went bearish on Friday because you had that nice shaved bottom candle closing below the low of this wick, closing below the low of this wick. You got a one black crow. I think a lot of people are trapped right now in Under Armour. And just shorter term, I mean, you can trade anything off the hourly. Hourly looks pretty good. You're also bouncing off the 100 on an hourly. You got a double bottom. I could see a pullback and a bounce. I could also see a break above here. I know Kyle was looking at going bullish on Under Armour. So yeah, I would. This does seem like a decent place to start considering it. Just do it longer term if you're going bullish. It just has a lot to battle with, and that's pretty much going to be it. So anyway, that's pretty much my thoughts on Under Armour. I like the one white soldier, new white soldier candle today. Here is LB, L Brands. And L Brands we're all watching because this is also coming up with earnings. Now this one's a really fun thing to day trade, and I think we'll all know what's going to happen if L Brands caps down on earnings. That would be what people refer to in the South as a water slide. A slip and slide. A Bud Light slip and slide. So the low, yeah, if it gaps below there, I mean, it's just going to keep slowly faltering, most likely. We did trade this one for a swing trade recently, and if you stayed in or had a really cool stop, you actually are okay. I kind of think L Brands is going to gap up and trade down. It's going to fade, but what will make that exciting is, let's see, Monday, Thursday, Monday. What will make that exciting is if it does gap up on earnings and trade down, it would be, I think, a really good buying opportunity, even for just a short-term swing trade. So we'll see. I'll wait. L Brands, Best Buy, earnings right around the corner. Good old Kroger, ticker symbol KR. And Kroger broke out on Friday. So my boy George is buying some shares of Kroger kind of longer term, just tiptoeing into a position. You do have the 200 simple on a weekly chart, and that has been a gargantuan of a resistance. Boom, shaka, laka, laka, mocha laka, vinte. You got a higher low, you're at the 200. So maybe some covered calls. Sharon and Donnie Baldwin are in. Cool. Again, I think the last time I looked, there was very little premium unless you go out pretty far, like October or something. You could get a 35 October covered call for 43 cents, which isn't terrible. Yeah, we'll have to kind of see. So Kroger, I mean, that's all I would say on it personally. Is it going to go down from here? I truly have no idea. But I do like the trend, and since earnings are about a month away, it makes sense that it's going to pull back. The good news is, if you're looking for it to continue higher, you got to love today's candle. Kind of a cute, small, black inside candle. If we trade sideways and break out of there, that could be nice for a quick pop as well. So yeah, we shall see. Marks, his third and final try. Zoom has frozen on me twice. This is his last chance to succeed. Sorry, man. That is super frustrating when Zoom or technology does that. I had to update my Zoom recently. I don't know if you've done that, but if you want to check it out and see if you have an update, maybe that'll help. It did help a little bit of slowness that I was experiencing. But sorry, man. If anyone else does have any technology issues, let me know. That does, man, that does make me want to throw a watermelon right through a window. It was Mercury. Got it. Makes sense. Ladies and gentlemen, First Solar. First Solar. I don't know if anyone did do some put sales on First Solar or not. I did not. I was very close, but I went with something better today, and I can't blame myself on that. So if you did go with September, I'm just going to leave it on the drawing with a bunch of question marks, just so I'll see if it would have worked. And I was thinking about it around here. Sometimes it's just as good getting the analysis right, you know. Here was a really good support right there. Obviously, boom, 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 boom. Today's a decent little candle. You also got some bounces off of the weekly. We tried First Solar not too long ago for a swing trade, kind of quick, and it didn't work, which is fine. If I'm going with an hourly setup on First Solar, it looks a little double bottom-esque to me with a support resistance around 51.49. And if that doesn't play out and we break above 52.81, remember, trading can be as easy or as hard as you want it to be. So if you were playing with a breakout above here, the stop above here, just a quick in and out, 2-3 day kind of move, makes sense to me. But I never did those put sales on First Solar. Make sure I have Tesla on the list today. Well, let's go ahead and talk about it. So I was glad I didn't do those put sales on First Solar because it freed us, a lot of traders, up to do some put sales on Tesla. And I already threw one frequent trader point to Jay, as Mr. Lowenthal sent me this morning the update that Tesla was having stupidly high implied volatility at open. So there is about 100 real life traders who sold puts today on Tesla. The only reason I was laughing is because it's at 150. There is money at 150 for September. So yeah, there's a lot of us in on that. I'm not the greatest person at math, but I did a quick calculation. That is a 50% sell-off on the stock price that would have to happen in the next month. And I was laughing, like, it certainly is plausible, but not likely. Because even if Tesla does this and just gets ripped apart and just gets destroyed and trades down 100 points, it would likely bounce a little bit, right? Something would kind of get it to bounce. And then if it was at 220, it'd have to sell off. If it sold off another 50 points, it would trade down to the 170 area, still 20 points away from that put sale. I just don't see it happening by September. So anyway, a whole heck of a lot of people are in on that one. Put it in the worksheet, posted it on TradingView. Falco says, you don't want to put my Tesla September $50 put sale for 11 cents on the chart. And we were being quite jovial on Tesla all day because the premiums were just outrageous. Falco sold a truckload of 50s for 11 cents because why not? Those are also September. Yeah, also September. So it would have to sell off 250 points, 70%. I think we're going to be okay. Now, I mean, obviously, there's a risk on every trade. Maybe Musk goes to jail or gets indicted, or the whole company just gets ripped apart. But usually when things are really bearish and grim, that's when you should be looking to go long. This was a good fade all day, and guess who has two thumbs and did not trade it bullish today? This guy. I looked at doing it too in the first 5 minutes. I traded well today, though. I'm not going to beat myself up about it. I traded like a bird flying. Nice little high wave candle. Entry would have been there. Stop would have been there. 2 Rs would have been right about there. Maybe would have done an add and reduce right there. Maybe. But yeah, really good pullback. Nice lower shadow. Nice move. Phenomenal trap right here. Nice little stop trap on Tesla. Yep. That's really about it. I mean, very similar to Netflix today, right? A lot of people on the internet were looking at going bearish on Netflix around open, and it had already made its bearish move. Same thing with Tesla, right? It had already gone from 387 to 297. Now, just so that we're all in the same boat, for people who are thinking that put sale at 150 is free money, we did move 100 points on Tesla in the last week. Just throwing that out there. Now, if we moved another 100 points lower, we'd be at 200. 25% drop. I mean, it's big. I don't see it. Not quite. I don't think it's going to get down there. Anyway, but there's still premium, Ben. There's still premium at 150 for September. You can still get $1.25. So anyway, the reason I'm bringing it up is if you haven't and you want to sell something, there is still money in the 150 zone. Not quite as much as there were this morning, but it hasn't evaporated a lot. So for my high risk, comfortable traders, you know how to perform in your account. You know what to do. You've been doing this before. You've been before. I'm not saying Tesla can't break down. It could go to 260. This thing could go to 200. I wouldn't care about the 150 put sale. Now, there will be, the only warning sign will be a close below the low of today's candle. If we don't do that, there's nothing to fear at all. because it is still in the market, and if the Tesla closes above 150, the options will expire worthless. BJ's still sideways, never rotated down. Can't see anything that I really like on it, so I'm just going to personally move on. If anyone is in a trade or you have a setup, let me know. Be happy to watch it, but presently I don't see anything that I like all that much. So I'm just going to move on to the next one. The next one being ticker symbol SONO. And nice pop. So Mike, good catch on this one, buddy. This is one that we've been looking at for the last 2 or 3 days. I think I missed this one personally, but we started watching it really close on these 2 days on the hourly chart for some traders. So here's that hourly, and you'll see that really good. Kind of zoom in here. You'll see this really good kind of triangle lower highs that we just finally broke out of. So don't mind the moving averages. I don't know why they're doing that, but here was the support, here was the lower highs, and last week I kept mentioning, hey, keep an eye on it. I don't think it's done either. I mean, you got this little pennant on the hourly, so yeah. Whoever requested Sonos and whoever is looking at playing that one, I think a short-term bullish trade makes sense. That's what I got. Okay, next on the list, CVS. What is CVS doing? CVS. Nope, did not pull back. Good try, Newsom. Good try. I guess we will continue to wait. Just hit a target. 100 simple on a weekly. I'm not saying CVS is going to gap down tomorrow. It probably doesn't. But I am going to throw out on my list Tuesday morning. Tuesday's gone with the wind. I'm just going to look at it just in case it gaps down. 73.68 below the low of today's candle. That would be a very nice short. Don't think it's going to occur, but just in case. Otherwise, moving on. iRobot. 97.30 is the close of the day today. And some of my lines and some of my charts got randomly not saved. I know Bob has a covered call on iRobot. This was a really fun move. It did take its time. And still kind of sad that I missed the swing trade on iRobot. We did set up the swing trade. The official swing trade was an entry here at the red line. Entry here, stop there, and we missed that one by pennies. Nice 2-3R trade. Oh well. All about that gap and that inside candle. Dirty. So Bob has a covered call, and I think I remember it's at 96. I just don't remember the exact time frame. But I'm gonna put Bob L. Believe it's September week 1, 96. I don't think he'll mind getting called away up there. If he does, he'll eventually buy back that covered call, but I think he'll just get exercised, and that'll be that. I think. But yeah, that was a really nice move. Weekly chart, just a buy low, sell high, off of the long terms, relatively good trend. That's an ugly accumulation, but that's what they look like. And yeah, nicely done on iRobot for anyone in that one. That was a really fun move. Walmart today, boy oh boy. So Walmart did what a lot of people expected. I have a day trade on this one that I'll cover with you, and it's actually semi-ironic because it's the exact opposite of what I normally do. And I would have won both ways, which is super rare. But we talked about this gap filling, which it's doing it right now. You had a gap down on a white candle, so it's a bearish gap and go. And this is the 5 minutos time frame. And the 5-minute chart, if I turn on the extended hours, you'll see something pretty cool. So here's what I was watching this morning on Walmart. Why I originally pulled this one up, I can't totally remember. I don't remember why it was on my list, other than just to see what it would do. I really don't remember how it got to my watch list, but it was there. So here's the pre-market support. It broke pre-market support. This little tiny shadow said to me that people probably shorted, and obviously they got stopped out with this really nice upper wick. And what I normally do on Walmart, because again, at this point they had made a new low, what I normally would have done is go short right here with the stop right there and just wait for this kind of a rollover. Well, as I was looking at it, I said, all right, here's what I'm going to do. I'll go bearish there, but if it wicks down and doesn't close below that support, I'm going to go long, expecting a bunch of short traders, right? These guys, everyone who bought right there, and everyone who's expecting it to roll over more. I think they're going to get trapped, and that's where I'm going to get in. So if I zoom in a little bit more, this is the chart that I posted on Slack as well this morning. Obviously a really aggressive trade. Yeah, once this lower shadow came in, I thought to myself, okay, you got people who were trying to short and they got bought up, they got wicked into their trade. I'm going to go long. And I was scared, didn't really want to, but I've been really practicing a lot over the weekend with getting with wicks. And there was the setup. You know, stop was here, entry was a stop market there. I loved it after seeing this candle. I loved it even more after seeing the third candle, and I got really lucky on the pop. So it popped, it broke out, and 2Rs was right there, almost the exact high. And that was it. And then I got out 2Rs, and that was over. And then it rolled right over. Here was the trade that I realistically normally take. The break of the pre-market low. So there's the close. Here's the retest. I would have gotten in bearish on the retest, the stop up here somewhere. And that would have also been 2Rs. Didn't take that trade, but well, I couldn't take the trade because my plan says if I take something once and make money on it, I can't trade it again. Anyway, that's pretty much Walmart. Now, as far as the swing trade is concerned, keep letting it pull back some more. This one's going to be fun. It'll probably keep fading a little more. Tomorrow will be kind of weird. I don't think it just gaps down and sinks. Tomorrow will probably be like a doji, and then we kind of continue on Thursday. Just a guess, but I will watch Walmart to continue filling that gap tomorrow. So Walmart also on my list. All right, next, Salesforce, CRM. A lot of you are big fans of this company longer term, as am I, and Salesforce just hanging out. Good trends. Nice hammer-ish candle here on the third. This is the story of a girl who cried river, drowned the whole world. Almost an inside candle, 5 pennies away. So this candle is not a perfect inside day candle, even though it's very close. Super close. So I would just say if you're in bullish on CRM and it continues higher, cool. It is an inside week, which they play out the same. It's all just candles. It's all candles. Earnings around the corner on CRM. Let's put down the list for next week as well and see what happens on CRM on earnings. Okay, next on the list is Home Depot, ticker symbol HD. For some reason, TradingView is not picking up my first letter that I type in for the ticker. So Home Depot is up 1.21% today. Nice looking candle. And that was the inside candle actually on Friday. Wow, what a really cool pattern. You have a Morningstar reversal-ish type of pattern right there. And then you got an inside candle on Friday. Entry would have been right there. Stop would have been right there. It's a nice little move on Home Depot. I'm not in on that one. I don't trade Home Depot that often, every now and then. But moving averages, pretty flat. Hourly charts on Home Depot. Trend looks good there. Long-term moving averages look good there. And let me just go back to the daily chart. Not much do I see. Dividends is around the corner. Yeah, this pattern definitely trapped some bears because there's a bunch of people that had some support right there, I'm sure, and they just got wicked out only for that bad boy to ride. So yeah, if you're in Home Depot bullish, cool. I think the dividends are coming up. I know my buddy Julian, his dad's got some shares. I like that massive volume spike right there, and then kind of like that bullish candle already closing above the high. So Home Depot looks good. Like my buddy Mark, looking good. Worst stop out of my career, at least for this particular month, has been Tilray. So, yeah. Now the good news is there were some traders who did make money on that. Look at TLRY. Good for you. My buddy Jeff snagged Tilray. Sammy, the guy I interviewed on Wednesday, he's in Tilray. And, I mean, I should have just gotten right back in after that gap up on the 15th. Should have just gotten in. I knew I got wicked out. I was that guy. I mean, can you believe it? By 6 pennies. What a monster. 24.05 for Benjamin. Even worse, by 5 pennies. That one royally hosed me. And I mean hosed. I mean, I lost an heart, but that's an absolute 4-hour swing for sure, because we would have made 3 hours on that trade, but we ended up losing 1. So that's a 4-hour swing. I mean, that put me at 12 hours for the month. Tilray, you flea. You moldy bean, you. Anyway, for those who are in, congrats. I think earnings is around the corner on Tilray. Buy the dip, see what happens on earnings. Let me see if I can verify that really quick. I don't think it's going to be, I doubt heavily it's going to be in Thinkorswim, TLRY. Nope. So let's just go look at Earnings Whisper. Man, you moldy squash. Okay. All right. TLRY. August 28th. Yep, it is around the corner. Okay. I'll move on. Ricky says, can we look at Momo? For you, dude? Anything. Very, very similar to the, I mean, Tilray, pretty much all cannabis stocks. They're smoking it up right now. WEED moved 10.9%. All started from the bottom. Now we're here with that dirty bullish gap and go. And then a retest just 2-3 days later, and it pulled back to the hourly 50. Really good pullback. So I said 50, I'm sorry, 20. So yeah, Canopy Growth, this is on the TSX. And trend looks good. I mean, I guess the question is, it's made a new all-time high. Barely. And there's a bunch of noobs probably hopping on bullish right there. So yeah, that's all I got on Canopy Growth. I'm waiting on it, keeping an eye on what it's going to do. But for those of you who are in it, congrats. My girl Francois says 54 covered call for October. This one's going to be fun. There's a few ways you could do this realistically. I don't have any position on this one, but if I did, here's what I would do. I would stagger it. Unless you have exactly 100 shares. Let's say you have 200 shares. I would sell one at the money for September. And then, yeah, 54. I'd probably just go 54 also September. October might be a little too far away because if this trend gets going, right, I mean, you got good volume, you got a good gap, you close above resistance. If it retests and bounces and really starts to fly, it could start moving. So I would say if I was going to do October, I would only do October as if it pulls back, and if it bounces and makes a new high, you buy that covered call back and maybe lock in a little bit of profit. It just really is going to fully depend on how many shares you have on this one. But Linderman says otherwise, just leave it alone. Solid. But yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking, Francois. Maybe do the at the money covered call for September, like a 48 to capture a little bit of the premium, some more premium as it pulls back, and then a September covered call up here. And if you do the October, just buy it back if it starts really rolling, because it certainly could. You got 100. Okay, got it. So yeah, looks good. I'd just say September 55, 54, something like that. And hold on to that call option. Have fun. Go be awesome. Well done. Here is MTY. And MTY is MTY Food Group Incorporated. A little bit of a lighter volume stock, but not too terrible. Here's the weekly trends. Looks good. I think this is on, is this on the TSX? I might have typed it in wrong. I don't think so. Yeah, I mean, this food company, you have a nice pennant forming, especially today. You had a really good pennant pattern breakout over here. So if MTY Food Group pulls back into 56, I think that's a good buying zone. And very similar to its recent stepbrother, that pennant pattern. If it keeps forming another pennant pattern and then breaks out bullish, trend looks good. Trend is your friends. Go to a movie together, buy some popcorn, stay bullish. Speaking of a movie and popcorn, here's AMC. And AMC, inside day candle. Looks nice. I like it. Here's the weekly chart. And the weekly, it's slowly accumulating. So here's the long-term moving averages. They have a ways to go. And here is the monthly chart. Again, I don't have any position on AMC personally, but I know my buddy Adam Ferragali, he's looking at getting into some longer-term shares. They do pay dividends. They're at a nice bottom, kind of like a buy low, sell high. I know my buddy Michael Kamid with his fantastic movie reviews, loves movies. This one could be a good longer-term buy low, sell high on AMC. The biggest question is, I guess, just where, and it just depends on how many you want to accumulate over how long. Not a super expensive one, so this is one that you could maybe buy some shares every month and just kind of start slowly building up a position for anyone who wants to. But I do like that inside candle, and if she pops, let it ride. I wouldn't know where to go with that. Let's go look at it. GLD. Man, my keyboard cannot handle whatever's happening on my computer today. So GLD up 0.5%. We've been watching this one real close for a bullish trade. And we did get a morning star reversal on gold. That's really it, though. There's no other moving average or support level that I'm absolutely in love with on a weekly or a monthly or really any time frame. So if you're day trading gold, I think you could be short-term bullish. Maybe if you're trading gold futures, let me look at the 15 minutos time frame. The extended hours turned off. Yeah, I think it's just going to fill this gap, and then from there, maybe something exciting happens. It doesn't look bad for a bullish trade, but it'd be, at least presently, a pretty short-term one. Nothing really on gold that I like. Here's Fifth Third Bank, FITV. Fifth Third, real sideways. Nice consolidation. Here's the long-term moving averages. They have crossed. Speaking of inside candle, here's your inside candle right here. And here's your slight bullish pop today. A little bit of a bullish gap and go 3 days ago. For the most part, just kind of hanging out. I don't see much worth really hopping on right now. Okay. Yeah, I think that's it. I mean, if you're accumulating or buying some, I think this is a decent spot. You have a lot to contend with, though. I'd be tiptoeing in down here, having a more longer term expectation. That's why I got on Fifth Third. All right. Next on the list, this is for my girl Jill, PGH on the ASX, the Aussie Exchange. And so here's PGH. And this is the daily charts. We were looking at a really killer pennant over the weekend on Pact Group. And it had a little bit of a bullish gap today, which actually is not bad. I did like the gap up. And even though this was a bearish gap and go, you had that inside candle. So from here, the way I would play it, Jill, is just right above the hammer of this candle. There's all kinds of ways you could do it. I know you're kind of looking a little bit more longer term, but you could garner a small piece of action right here, which is about 420. Yeah, 428, right the low of that gap. And then add to it if it breaks above here. So it pops above there, add to it. And again, with a really small partial position at 428, if it trades lower into the 4, then that's when you can start adding some more size, because there is some pretty good support down there. This gap most likely fills, but here's the weekly time frame. And again, just with support and resistance zones, you do have some around this $4 area. So I think, yeah, I could go a little lower, but just in case, if it does start breaking out, feel free to nab it. Looks like it pays dividends. Nice. Joe says, all right, I agree. Killer. Sylvan says, hey, Jeremy, better late in live than watching the replay. Agreed. Love having you here, man. Killer to chat with you this weekend. Dude, you fired me up, just letting you know. I'm ready. I'm fired up. I'm hungry. I'm ready to do this. Lamb Research. Thomas is looking at playing Lamb. What's the low of this candle? 166.32, and the low of this one, 166.37. I like it a lot. I'll put on the list for tomorrow for a potential weekly options newsletter trade. Really interesting that we made a new low by just a few pennies. Let me confirm that. 166.37, 166.32. Yep. What's the low of this candle? 166.27. Sorry, what was the low of this one? 167.27. Frothy. Okay. All kinds of ways to play this. If you're really comfortable long term, you can put a stop way down here and kind of do like an add and reduce. You know, so you could have a stop down there at 155.84. I mean, that's massive, like an eternity away. But that's if you want to be in it longer term, which I don't think is your plan. Otherwise, slap on this right there. Man, if that holds between today and tomorrow, I'll figure out a way to peel something off and try to exit. I like it just because it made that new low just enough to trap some people, and then it's going to kind of bounce. Let me go look at the hourly and just see, maybe try the extended hours, see if there's any wicks or anything up there. Denzel Frothington. Yeah, looks good. That's Lamb Research. I like it. What is Ghoul? I think I meant Goose. I don't think Ghoul is a stock. What else could G-O-O? Could it be Google? I think it's Google. I remember writing it down. I don't think it's Google. Google. The reason I was looking at Google, it also does not look bad. So this is Google with no L. My boy George had himself a put sale that expired worthless. If you throw an L, this is the voting class shares. And I do kind of like the move on Google today because this was just enough to kind of whipsaw and stop people out. Let me let TradingView load, just taking a little bit. It's been a smidge on the slow side recently. But I mean, they're going to be almost identical. So you have this support. You took out that support. You have a little bit of a Morningstar-esque type of pattern. You do have some lower highs. That's slightly concerning. I would probably be short-term trading into here. Like day trades or really quick swing trades. You know, if you have Google long-term, I mean, that's fantastic. There's nothing to really worry about here, I don't think, but that's all I got. All right, I'm gonna close this page and open another one. That one's dead. Okay. Let's go to charts, load these again, and then we will hop into what is next. Lulu. All right, so we're gonna go take a sneak peek at the Lulu, the Looster. And Lulu was really moving today. Had a gap and go out of that doji candle. So here's Lulu. Really nice doge on Friday. That's a solid move. Is it true that earnings are already around the corner? I feel like Lulu has earnings every 3 days. August 30th, I'll be. Well, I'll be. If I was playing Lulu, I would do this. Pretty much it. Some type of hourly play. Here's the extended hours. Yeah, into the 10 or the 20. Buy the dip, S-curve. Might also be the weekly options newsletter trade, potentially, just kind of seeing what it looks like. And that's pretty much it on Lulu. MELI. MELI today. I think MELI is going to slowly scamper lower. Here's the deal. So you close below both long-term averages. This obviously was a beautiful breakout. Gorgeous S-curve. Full-on rotation with earnings. Made new high and everything. Tons of people hopped on bullish. And you had a retrace, and you had a bullish candle. And right there, that bullish candle, that was the pinnacle. That's when it should have done this, and that. Should have done, just did not. So this gap down, low of this candle, and then the open of this candle, this gap down, I mean, that was it. Yeah, that was the end of the rotation. Something's changing. I feel something changing. Now this could retest like this, obviously, but if it trades sideways or kind of rests a little bit, MELI now having an official lower high on a weekly chart. Yes, you do have the 50. I do think it'll pause here, but if it doesn't, I think a little bit of a lower lows to come in. And for those of you who have sold puts on this one before, which is a relatively long list of people, then you could keep an eye out for an October 260 pays about $3.30. So if I were going to do it, it would be below that 100 on a weekly chart. Okay, TNDM. Tandem Diabetes up 6.14%. Solid. So that trend, I mean, you had a really nice inside day candle yesterday being Friday. And there she goes. I mean, that's another trend that if you want to slap that one on for some day trade watching or some swing trade, I mean, this is a confirmed bullish trend until something changes. And I mean, I know it's a strong trend, very strong, in fact, but it has retested relatively recently. I wouldn't buy breakouts on this one. I would buy pullbacks. Obviously, a little bit of a speculative play, kind of news driven, and a lot of people are just kind of waiting for that top to come in or waiting for a really good target. So, you know, if you're doing a long-term investment, I don't think this is the exact spot to get in. I think you can have a little bit more of a pullback, but I mean, as far as moving averages, there's nothing really in the way. So play it quick, and if you do want it long-term, just kind of tiptoe into this area with some real small positions because it's already made most of its move, at least a large portion. Netflix. So Netflix today missed this one by the skin on my teeth for a bullish trade today. Kind of upset about it. So you have that really nice S-curve, the bearish S-curve, right? We gap down. So here's S-curve number one, makes a new low. This is where to exit your bearish position. And then you have the swing, right? So the second S-curve makes the new low. This is where you're exiting your bearish position. And we'll probably have another one does something like that. Potentially, maybe, most likely. That's kind of what I'm planning for, what I'm watching for. And here's how I was playing Netflix today. Remember, tons of people were looking at shorting this one this morning, and my analysis, or at least I thought, it had already gone down like 7-8 days in a row. So the edge isn't masterfully bearish. But here's where it started getting interesting. This volume was greater than this bearish volume, which seemed real interesting to me. We made a new low, right? Both of them with lower shadows. So there's just all kinds of lower shadows happening. So I'm thinking bunch of lower shadows, black candle gapping down like 8 days in a row, down almost or right close to it 100 points since earnings, or you know, the day before earnings, down. I mean, so massive. We're talking really far. And this candle showed up. The Chris Hemsworth hammer of Thor just coming out the gate saying, what is up? Who wants to party? I got all kinds of free gifts. And so my setup was right here with a stop right there. I was going to play that bullish because I wanted to go bearish. I thought about it. I was watching it, but then the more I looked at it, the more sentiment just seemed like it was a big chase to go bearish here. Nothing goes down forever. And I missed that by about 27 seconds. And like as I was typing it in, that candle was forming, kind of started blowing through that. So could have gotten in market, maybe even should have gotten in bullish here with a stop there. I mean, I know in hindsight everything's 2020, but I got to remember once the stock has its, you know, finishes its bearish move, it can have a good retracement for a while. So yeah, so from here, I mean, I'm thinking we're going to hang out for a bit, something like that, and then I don't know. Obviously, it trades down and bounces. It could do that. I still have my wager. I got a month and a half, solid month, 2 months actually. I think it's going to roll over, and I'm not going to wait for it to close below the low of today's candle before I go bearish again. But if it trades back up into this, yeah, around where would the bulls, the bears have their stops? That's where she's going. I mean, obviously right here, but I don't think it's going to get that high. Yeah, I think right around 248. 248 makes sense. So if I come over here and go, I don't know, I'm just gonna do this spread, and I'm just gonna go short. Look for a short. And again, if you bought those protected puts or bought puts in general a few days ago, congrats. And that's all I got. Could this be the absolute bottom on Netflix and could it be bouncing from here? Yep. Is that going to be the case? Nope. I don't think so. Possible. I could be wrong. We'll see. Facebook and then Momo. So Facebook, boy. I don't know. I mean, really pivotal candle from Friday. It did not close below the low. We got close, but it didn't quite happen. Now, if you still triggered into some protective puts, that's fine. I don't think that's, again, you want it to bounce. You don't want it to go lower. So if you get into some protective puts and it goes higher, great. It's never a bad idea to spend a little bit of money to help you sleep better at night, just in case. So, yep, this is really the spot where Facebook should bounce. Based on all my accounts of my wave rotations and my patterns and everything, all I can say is the longer Facebook trades sideways here and the longer it doesn't bounce, the faster that flush will be to 155, 160-ish. It'll happen in a day. If we trade sideways for 2 or 3 days and then break down, it's going to flush right into the 100 simple on a weekly chart. Which is at 160. Okay, Momo. So Momo earnings, days around the corner. Nice candle, good gap, good doge. And earnings are just, like I mentioned, hours away. Can Momo keep the earnings surprise streak alive? I think no. I think Momo gaps down a little bit on earnings and then gets bought up. Total guess, but I think it gaps down to about 33, 38, just enough to surprise everybody. A bunch of shorts go in, very similar to what happened over here. Almost identical. Just runs down, breaks it, everyone loses their mind, and then she bounces. Now, of course, Momo could gap up, and I would love a gap up on Momo. There's a few of you in that one, so we will see. If it gaps above 42.83, Gazoon tight. And you gotta love this candle. So really, really nice highway candle, very indecisive, right until earnings. Earnings will be fun on Momo. Looking forward to that. And last but not least is RHI. This was one of the bearish trades that we're looking at. A $1.30 stop with a buy at 120 September 75, absolute zero on Robert Half International. Didn't trigger today. And it still might not, but right now we have no stop on it. If it hits 130 and then fills us at $1.20, cool. We will look at our other swing trades, however, tomorrow and determine and decide what they need to do, where, when, why, all that good stuff. All right, cool. So tomorrow's list. We have SYF, APPN's gapping down on a stock offering. That's pretty lame. So we have APPN. We'll look at SPY pretty much every day. Lending Club, IQ. Michael Ramsey said he's in. Sweet. SSYS, BIIB, Sale, Square, OLED, CRM, Home Depot, MasterCard, MU, HMI, PS, CTL, AMAT, VRAY, and LRCX. And Mr. Ramsey, I do still like it on Robert Half if it does break. It definitely is not showing massive strength. Yeah, I like it. It'll just be quick. We'll see, man. Especially if we get a little bit of a market pullback, that might help. Perfect. We'll put the rest on the list. Apple, Baba, FNACO, Google, Netflix again, Facebook, Amazon. All right, team. You rock. Thanks for being here. Thank you for enriching lives with me, and I will see you all tomorrow. Same time, same place. And until then, love life, live life, trade it. Bye.